September marks a powerful turning point in 2025, shifting us from summer's fiery clarity into autumn's earthy integration. This is a month of recalibration, refinement, and realignment as we digest August's cosmic upheavals and begin to stabilize into new rhythms. With a series of grounding Virgo and Libra transits, eclipses stirring destiny, and retrogrades still rewriting our foundations, September asks us to balance practicality with heart, discernment with compassion, and individuality with partnership. It's a month to edit the script of your life, clarifying priorities, shedding illusions, and recommitting to paths that feel both soulful and sustainable. Pluto remains retrograde in Aquarius through September, continuing to restructure collective systems and individual power dynamics. Themes around decentralization, AI ethics, digital sovereignty, and collective empowerment intensify. Old societal roles continue to dissolve, pushing us to stand more firmly in truth-centered connections. Saturn and Neptune, having been in retrograde in Aries, will take a slight shift as Saturn now retrogrades into Pisces, still holding us in that delicate dance between building structures of integrity and dissolving false identities. These two planets are now slowly separating from their rare August conjunction, leaving behind a lingering question. What dreams are sturdy enough to build upon? Which ambitions need spiritual integrity to survive? Uranus in Gemini continues electrifying communication, thought, and technology, pushing us to think faster, more intuitively, and more multidimensionally. The nervous system may feel overstimulated, making mindfulness and grounding practices essential. September brings more shifts in education, digital platforms, and public discourse, forcing us to discern what's true, what's useful, and what simply creates noise. As Saturn re-enters Pisces in retrograde motion on September 1st, the energy shifts inward, urging us to slow down and revisit the deeper layers of our spiritual and emotional foundations. Saturn, the planet of discipline, structure, and responsibility, moving through Pisces, the sign of dreams, compassion, and the unconscious, calls us to examine where we may have blurred boundaries, unresolved wounds, or patterns of escapism that undermine our growth. This retrograde phase isn't about rushing forward, but about carefully dismantling illusions and strengthening the unseen frameworks that support our inner world. Themes of karmic accountability and soul lessons resurface, offering opportunities to clear emotional residue from the past and recommit to practices that nourish spiritual integrity. It's a time to establish healthier boundaries in relationships, cultivate consistent spiritual or healing routines, and bring discipline to areas of life where we've been overly idealistic or ungrounded. Saturn in Pisces retrograde asks, what beliefs, habits, or emotional attachments keep you bound to the past, and what can you release to align with a more authentic and compassionate future? On September 2nd, Mercury, the planet of communication, thought, and perception, leaves fiery Leo and enters the grounded, analytical sign of Virgo, one of the signs it rules and therefore functions with clarity and precision. After weeks of dramatic self-expression and bold declarations under Mercury in Leo, this shift turns the cosmic microphone toward practicality, discernment, and refinement. Words become sharper, more deliberate, and more intentional. You may feel drawn to edit, organize, fact-check, and streamline both your thoughts and your environment. Conversations take on a more solution-oriented tone, favoring constructive dialogue over performance or pride. This is an excellent transit for problem-solving, planning, writing, research, and any task that requires close attention to detail. However, Mercury in Virgo can also highlight tendencies toward over-analysis, nitpicking, or perfectionism, so be mindful not to get lost in the weeds or delay progress by overthinking. At its best, this placement helps us communicate with clarity, organize with efficiency, and focus on the small steps that build lasting results. It's a mental reset that invites us to speak with precision, listen with discernment, and honor the power of thoughtful expression. Again on September 2nd, Mars in Virgo opposes Neptune retrograde in Aries, setting the tone for the month with a push-pull dynamic between clarity and confusion. Mars in Virgo craves order, precision, and efficient progress, urging us to tackle tasks with focus and practical discipline. Yet Neptune retrograde in Aries dissolves certainty, making actions feel unclear, misguided, or even futile. This aspect can create the sensation of chasing smoke. Motivation may waver, details slip through the cracks, or well-intentioned efforts fizzle out under an elusive fog. It's easy to feel scattered, drained, or deceived, especially if you're pushing forward without a clear sense of purpose. Situations may arise where boundaries blur, making it hard to know whether you're acting from genuine alignment or ego-driven illusion. Rather than forcing productivity or demanding instant clarity, this transit calls for a different approach. Pause, rest, and reflect on your deeper why. Consider whether your current actions truly reflect your higher vision, or if you've been moving out of habit, pressure, or escapism. Channel this nebulous energy into meditation, journaling, artistic expression, or spiritual practice, where Neptune's imagination can serve as inspiration rather than confusion. If you slow down and honor the pause, this opposition becomes less about disorientation and more about reorienting your compass towards soulful, purposeful action. On September 3rd, Mercury in Virgo forms a complex pattern, simultaneously making a quincunx to both Saturn, which would have just entered Pisces from Aries in retrograde, and Neptune retrograde in Aries while squaring Uranus in Gemini. This creates a dynamic push and pull between clarity, discipline, and imagination, all while jolting the nervous system with unexpected insights. The quincunx to Saturn highlights friction between practical communication and the need for patience or responsibility. Conversations may feel heavy, delayed, or constrained by external obligations. The simultaneous quincunx to Neptune adds an element of confusion or idealism, making it easy to second-guess your words or get lost in vague promises, mixed messages, or unrealistic thinking. Meanwhile, the square to Uranus disrupts mental flow with sudden revelations, surprising announcements, or technological hiccups that force quick adaptation. Together, these aspects stir mental tension that can manifest as scattered thoughts, communication glitches, or a sense of being pulled in different directions between logic, intuition, and unpredictability. While the energy may feel restless and disorienting, it can also spark breakthrough ideas if you allow flexibility, curiosity, and open-mindedness to guide the way. This is a day to double-check details, expect the unexpected in conversations, and use surprising information as a catalyst for innovation rather than frustration. On September 4th, Mars in Libra forms a tense square with Jupiter in Cancer, creating a dynamic surge of energy that can feel both inspiring and overwhelming. Mars in Libra seeks harmony, balance, and cooperation in action, while Jupiter in Cancer magnifies emotional needs, protective instincts, and the desire for belonging. Together, this aspect stirs a heightened drive to pursue relationships, creative projects, or personal ambitions with enthusiasm. But the square warns of potential overextension, impatience, or taking on more than you can realistically manage. You may feel compelled to act boldly in the name of justice, love, or family. Yet the tendency to overestimate your capacity or to push others beyond their comfort zones could create friction. This transit amplifies generosity and optimism, making it a powerful moment for vision casting and initiating big plans. But it also requires awareness of boundaries, pacing, and emotional balance. The challenge is to channel this expansive energy into intentional, cooperative action, rather than scattering it through impulsive choices or unrealistic expectations. On September 7th, Venus in Leo forms a flowing trine to Uranus in Gemini, infusing the day with a vibrant electric charge that awakens the heart and mind. Venus, planet of love, beauty, and values, shines boldly in expressive Leo, seeking passion, creativity, and recognition. Uranus, the cosmic disruptor and innovator moving through quick-thinking Gemini, adds a spark of originality, spontaneity, and freedom. Together, their harmonious alignment brings sudden breakthroughs in matters of romance, art, and finance. This is the kind of energy that shakes you out of routine and invites you to experiment, whether that means exploring unconventional relationships, taking creative risks, or reimagining what pleasure and beauty mean to you. Love may arrive unexpectedly, friendships could take surprising turns, and online or social connections may open doors to new collaborations. Financially, inventive ideas and fresh opportunities can surface, particularly through technology, networking, or progressive approaches. This aspect favors spontaneity and play. Lean into the unexpected, follow the sparks of inspiration, and allow your heart to explore new territory without fear of judgment. Under this influence, authenticity becomes magnetic, and daring to love or create differently reveals possibilities you hadn't considered before. On September 8th, Mercury in Virgo forms a harmonious trine to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, creating a potent atmosphere for depth, precision, and meaningful exchange. With Mercury sharpening the mind in practical, detail-oriented Virgo, thoughts and words gain clarity, while Pluto retrograde in Aquarius draws attention to hidden dynamics, collective truths, and the deeper layers beneath surface appearances. This transit allows conversations to go beyond pleasantries, piercing through illusions and reaching into the heart of what truly matters. It's an excellent moment for research, investigative work, or any practice that thrives on uncovering what's been buried, whether that's shadow journaling, therapy, or candid soul-level dialogue. Secrets may come to light, insights may arrive with startling clarity, and words spoken now carry the potential to transform relationships, perspectives, and even personal power dynamics. The alignment supports honest reflection and authentic communication, but it also brings a caution. The urge to control, manipulate, or obsess over information can be heightened. To harness this transit fully, approach dialogue with integrity, humility, and a willingness to listen as deeply as you speak. Done consciously, this is a day when language becomes medicine, and truth, however raw, has the power to liberate. The cosmic spotlight intensifies on September 9th with a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, marking one of the most transformative and spiritually potent events of the month. Lunar eclipses act as fated gateways, amplifying endings, revelations, and moments of profound release. And in dreamy, mystical Pisces, this energy is deeply emotional, intuitive, and sensitive. The eclipse illuminates areas of life where illusions, attachments, and outdated emotional patterns have been holding sway, urging us to confront what no longer serves our higher growth. Pisces, the sign of compassion, imagination, and surrender, calls us to let go of the need for rigid control and to trust the unfolding of divine timing, even when the path forward feels uncertain or unclear. Emotional awareness is heightened, making us more receptive to subtle signals from dreams, synchronicities, or spiritual insight, and creating fertile ground for inner healing and intuitive breakthroughs. This eclipse may bring significant closures, particularly in relationships or situations marked by escapism, denial, or unhealthy dependency, offering an opportunity to release old habits or dynamics that weigh heavily on the heart. Collectively, the energy encourages a cleansing of shared emotional burdens, as if the universe itself is inviting us to shed the past and step into a lighter, freer state of being. During this time, revelations around personal boundaries, the balance between self-sacrifice and self-care, and the ways we serve or nurture others versus ourselves are likely to surface. It's a potent moment to honor your emotions, trust your inner guidance, and consciously let go of anything that inhibits your spiritual or emotional evolution, paving the way for a more authentic, aligned, and liberated path forward. On September 12th, Mars in Virgo forms a trine with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. After the earlier confusion and scattered energy experienced in the first part of September, this earthy and empowering trine offers a profound sense of clarity, focus, and inner drive. Mars in Virgo brings precision, discipline, and practical energy, encouraging us to act thoughtfully and efficiently, paying attention to details that are often overlooked. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius adds a layer of deep transformative power, calling on us to confront entrenched patterns, outdated systems, and unconscious habits that no longer serve our higher purpose. Together, these planetary energies create a unique opportunity to combine intentional action with transformative insight. This alignment is ideal for tackling long-term projects, making strategic improvements, or initiating meaningful structural changes in work, relationships, or personal development. It's a day to cut through distractions, identify what truly matters, and take decisive steps toward goals that require both courage and precision. Whether refining routines, reorganizing systems, or breaking free from limitations, the energy of this trine supports practical progress that has lasting impact. Commit to your vision with clarity and purpose. The groundwork laid today can have transformative effects well into the future. On September 15th, Venus moves into meticulous, earthy Virgo, shifting the energies of love, beauty, and finances into a realm of refinement, discernment, and practical elegance. During this transit, romantic expression becomes less about sweeping gestures or dramatic displays, and more about thoughtful, consistent acts of care, devotion, and reliability. There is a heightened appreciation for simplicity, authenticity, and honesty in relationships, where gestures that show attentiveness, attentional presence, or small, meaningful rituals carry far more weight than grandeur. In matters of money and resources, Venus in Virgo encourages mindful spending, careful budgeting, and investments that align with long-term security and personal values. This transit also enhances aesthetic sensibilities with an eye for detail, encouraging us to bring harmony and organization into our living spaces, whether through decluttering, redecorating with practical beauty, or creating environments that nurture comfort and well-being. Additionally, creative expression under this influence flourishes through crafts, wellness practices, or healing arts, as the focus shifts from extravagance to skillful precision and mindful intention. Overall, Venus in Virgo invites a graceful, grounded approach to love, beauty, and abundance, emphasizing service, attentiveness, and the quiet power of small but meaningful gestures that build lasting connection and satisfaction. On September 18th, the Sun opposes Neptune retrograde in Aries. As the Sun in meticulous Virgo opposes Neptune retrograde in bold Aries, clarity may feel elusive and the lines between reality and perception can blur. This transit often surfaces hidden illusions, confusion, or disillusionment, particularly in areas related to personal identity, health routines, or life purpose. You may notice a sense of internal fog or a feeling of being temporarily unmoored, as ego structures, old narratives, or previously held certainties begin to dissolve. It's a time when forcing decisions or trying to impose logic on situations can lead to frustration or misjudgment. Instead, the cosmos encourages surrender and trust in the unfolding process. Spiritual practices, meditation, creative expression, or compassionate service can provide grounding, allowing inspiration and insight to emerge organically. Be mindful of the potential for deception, whether from others, yourself, or circumstances, as idealization, escapism, or wishful thinking may distort your perception. Even though the truth may feel obscured now, subtle hints, intuitive nudges, and quiet revelations are guiding you toward clarity, offering a chance to align more deeply with your authentic self. This transit is less about immediate answers and more about embracing patience, receptivity, and discernment, trusting that what is unclear today will illuminate your path in the coming days. On September 19th to 20, the cosmic energy takes on a dynamic and layered tone, weaving together themes of love, communication, and unexpected awakening. As Venus enters Virgo, the planet of love, beauty, and values, the energy shifts from Leo's expressive warmth into a more grounded, practical space. Affection becomes thoughtful and service-oriented, expressed through acts of care, small gestures of devotion, and a desire for sincerity over drama. At the same time, Mercury forms flowing trines to both Uranus retrograde in Gemini and Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, sparking profound and innovative breakthroughs in thought, conversation, and problem-solving. This alignment favors deep discussions, fresh perspectives, and transformative insights that can reshape the way we perceive reality, technology, or our own personal narratives. However, Venus quickly forms a square to Uranus retrograde, bringing tension and unpredictability into relationships, finances, or personal values. Sudden shifts, surprising attractions, or disruptions to stability may surface, pushing us to question outdated attachments and open to more authentic ways of loving and valuing what matters most. These days highlight a dance between order and disruption, asking us to embrace change while finding beauty in the details and depth in our connections. When the Sun, just about entering Libra, opposes Saturn retrograde in Pisces on September 20th, we encounter a cosmic checkpoint that tests the balance between personal expression and responsibility, as well as the alignment of our ideals with practical realities. The Sun illuminates our drive to shine, create, and assert individuality, while Saturn retrograde in Pisces draws attention to areas where emotional, spiritual, or intuitive foundations may need strengthening. This opposition can feel like hitting a wall. Ambitions may stall, self-doubt can surface, or external circumstances may impose limits on how freely you can pursue your goals. Rather than viewing obstacles as failures, use this moment to assess whether your aspirations are grounded in integrity, long-term sustainability, and authentic purpose. If something feels blocked, it may be a signal that it requires more discipline, clearer boundaries, or a more compassionate approach. This transit emphasizes that true achievement balances practical effort with inner wisdom, encouraging reflection, recalibration, and the careful realignment of personal desires with deeper responsibilities. As the Sun crosses into Libra on September 22nd, we are greeted by the autumn equinox, a moment when day and night are in perfect balance, mirroring the energetic themes Libra brings into our lives. This season marks a natural turning point, inviting us to reflect on where harmony and equilibrium are present or lacking in our personal and collective spheres. Libra encourages us to consciously weigh the dynamics between self and others, independence and cooperation, action and contemplation, giving and receiving. It is a cosmic reset point, offering the opportunity to realign with our values, recalibrate relationships, and restore a sense of inner and outer balance. During this time, the energies of partnership, diplomacy, fairness, and justice are heightened, urging thoughtful negotiation, compromise, and mutual respect. Beyond interpersonal connections, Libra also amplifies our appreciation for beauty, aesthetics, and creative expression, highlighting the importance of cultivating environments, routines, and interactions that reflect both grace and integrity. As the season unfolds, we are guided to integrate these lessons of balance, learning not only to harmonize with others, but also to honor our own needs, boundaries, and authentic truth. On September 23rd, just a day after the autumn equinox, Mercury shifts into the sign of Libra, bringing a heightened focus to communication, relationships, and social dynamics. With Mercury in this air sign of balance, dialogue is no longer just about exchanging information. It becomes a tool for fostering understanding, fairness, and connection. Negotiation, diplomacy, and collaborative problem-solving are strongly favored, making this an ideal period for mediating conflicts, brainstorming creative solutions with others, or repairing and strengthening personal and professional relationships. The Libra influence encourages us to weigh all perspectives carefully, seek compromise where possible, and bring a sense of grace and tact to our interactions. However, the energy also carries the potential for indecision, overthinking, or bending too easily to please others. To navigate this period effectively, prioritize honest, thoughtful communication and be mindful of avoiding conflict at the expense of your own truth. By engaging openly and respectfully, Mercury in Libra offers a unique opportunity to harmonize your words with your intentions, align your ideas with those around you, and cultivate relationships rooted in mutual respect and understanding. On September 24th, Mars in Scorpio forms a tense square with retrograde Pluto, creating a charged atmosphere of intense drive, emotional depth, and transformative potential. Mars, the planet of action, desire, and assertion, is empowered in Scorpio to pursue goals with focus, determination, and strategic intensity. Pluto retrograde, the planet of deep transformation, power dynamics, and subconscious shadow work, amplifies the internal and external pressures surrounding control, influence, and personal empowerment. Together, this square can bring sudden confrontations, either with others or within yourself, around issues of dominance, manipulation, or buried emotional patterns that need acknowledgement. You may feel an almost magnetic urge to push boundaries, break through limitations, or assert your will, but the energy also carries the risk of power struggles, obsession, or burnout if mismanaged. This is a day for facing hidden truths, examining motivations, and taking transformative action rather than reacting impulsively. Channeling this energy consciously can lead to profound breakthroughs, release of old patterns, and the reclamation of personal power in ways that are deeply empowering and lasting. September concludes with a profound and transformative cosmic event, a new Moon Solar Eclipse in Libra on September 29th. This lunation acts as a powerful reset button, opening a fated new chapter in areas of relationships, partnerships, collaboration, justice, and personal equilibrium. Solar eclipses are not subtle. They often bring sudden shifts, unexpected revelations, or moments of clarity that propel us onto a new trajectory. In matters of love and connection, this eclipse illuminates where dynamics have been out of alignment, revealing imbalances that may no longer serve your growth or well-being. Relationships that are based on convenience, codependency, or superficial compatibility may naturally dissolve, creating space for connections that are genuinely aligned with your soul and values. Contracts, business partnerships, and collaborative projects are also highlighted. Negotiations, agreements, or collaborations may undergo pivotal adjustments, asking you to discern what truly reflects fairness, integrity, and reciprocity. On a broader collective level, this eclipse emphasizes themes of justice, diplomacy, and social fairness, potentially bringing societal or political issues to the forefront. Individually, it asks pointed questions. Where in your life do you need more balance? Which connections nurture mutual respect, equality, and authenticity, and which demand compromise that undermines your truth? This is a potent moment for planting intentions around heart-centered, balanced, and conscious partnerships, relationships that honor both self and other, and collaborations that reflect integrity, respect, and mutual support. The energy of this eclipse is both cleansing and catalytic. It encourages releasing what no longer serves you and stepping courageously into the relationships, agreements, and alliances that reflect your highest truth. September is a month of transition, bridging summer's fiery revelations with autumn's grounding integration. with 2 eclipses reshaping our inner and outer landscapes, retrogrades deepening reflection, and Libra's season of balance beginning. This month asks us to refine, release, and recommit. It's about finding clarity within confusion, simplicity within complexity, and partnership within individuality. Trust the process. What dissolves now makes space for more truth, harmony, and soul alignment in the months to come. Thank you for exploring September's cosmic landscape with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more monthly astrology. Let us know in the comments which eclipse or transit you're most curious about. Until next time, keep aligning with the stars.